Okay, guys, so there is also a algebra section you need to know for your AdMaths exam. So there are a few things that you need to know. One thing that's not in the IGCSE syllabus is going to be surds. So you just might want to learn about all that square root stuff that might come up. So suppose you had the square root of 8, and you might be asked to multiply it to the square root of 9, and then divide it all, let's say, by the square root of 12, let's say. So what we do is we just cancel it down into what really does it mean by 8 rooted. Actually, to make things simpler, I will do a cube root there. Yeah, so then basically what you'll do is you just simplify this down. So you'd get the cube root of 8 is going to be 2, obviously, but 2 can also be written as the square root of 4. And since we're in surd form, we might as well do that. So we got square root of 4, and then times the square root of 9 over the root 12. And then these two can be combined into the root 36. So we get root 36 over root 12. And you'll find that 12 goes into 36 3 times, but the answer is going to be root 3, because if you multiplied root 3 by root 12, you will get root 36. If you were to actually multiply 3 by root 12, you will get basically, I think it would be 108, because 3 is also root 9, and 9 times 12 is going to be that. So what you got to remember is basically whenever you see a square root and then a number inside, what it's actually just saying is x to the power of a half. And whenever we're actually doing any surd manipulation, we're just really combining factors. For example, 8 to the power of a third times 9 to the power of a half. And that, as a result, when you have x to the power of n times y to the power of n, it is equivalent to saying x times y all to the power of n, because really that's just what's happening inside. So as a result, that's how all of these calculations in surd work, because it's basically all to the power of a half, and you can combine numbers. So as a result, you have the root 36 divided by root 12. That's going to be 36 to the power of a half divided by 12 to the power of a half, and then that basically becomes 3 all to the power of a half, and that's root 3. And that's how that works. You also need to know completing the square in algebra. So you might have, for example, let's use one of our favorite equations, x squared minus 407x, if I can remember, plus 7372. That's, my memory is equal to 0. And let's do some completing the square on this. So whenever we're completing the square, we must half this number. You might be thinking, why have I chosen such a hard one? Well, this is a legendary number. So we half it and then square it. So we're going to get x squared, obviously, minus 407x, but before we go any further, for factorization purposes, we must do this. So you take 407, divide it by 2, and then you just square the answer. And then that's going to give you 41412. And then you're also going to get minus 41412. Oh, actually, it's a 0.25 as well. It's a 0.25. And then minus 41412.25. And then plus the 7372 is equal to 0. then this factorizes. So it's going to be x minus, and that's going to be 203.5. And then that's all squared, and that's going to be equal to, and then that's the other side of the equation. So that will be 41412.5, 41412.5, minus 7372, I think. And that's going to give us 3404.025. And I think that should be a square number, I hope. If we root this number, we will get 184.5, give that dot there, and that's going to be equal to x minus 203.5. And if you just add on, just add on 203.5 to that number, you're going to get, just a second, the one solution of x is going to be 388. And the other solution should be 19, I think. I'll just check that. Minus 203.5. Yep, you get 19, I think. Actually, yeah, at some point you'd have had to just make sure you get stuff the right way around, but that should give you approximately some stuff. Because also, what you'll find is there's other stuff you need to know for your exam. For example, circle graphs you need to know. Not really in the algebra section, but they will come in use especially for other stuff. If you obviously you know that circles can intersect, but in the section you might come across, it just gives you the equations of two things, and you gotta find solutions and stuff like that. You'll also come across division and stuff of polynomials and all sorts. So remember, just get your factors right, get the highest terms done first. So for example x4, then you just make sure that the x matches, so you get x3, then that'll cancel out the x4 term, and then you get your x3 here from the 1, and then that just cancels with the next and the next and the next, and then eventually it'll factorize. You can also use the actual theorems themselves by making your equation equal to 0. So basically, if you want to find out if x plus 2 is a factor, you just substitute x plus 2 in you substitute in minus 2 for x, because if x is equal to minus 2, therefore this factor will become 0, and if it's 0, you'll find out what the remainder is. Or also, if the remainder is 0, that will mean that x plus 2 is a factor of f of x. So that's basically the factor and remainder theorem sorted for you guys. Let's see if there's anything else you need to know for your exam. You do need to know how to use binomial expansion and stuff like that. So if you have x plus, I think I have made videos on this, so you should check that out. But yeah, x plus 1 to the n